Yeah, we're watching the daily coronavirus briefing right now going on in the briefing room here behind me, and it's quite incredible, Elaine, that during this day where you've had 2,000 deaths, 14,000 milestone passed, nearly 800 in New York, the U.S. president's still basically saying there's light at the end of the tunnel and trying to be as positive as can. And now we understand that. But the discrepancy between the numbers we're seeing on every television screen and the message from behind here is quite incredible. Let's take a listen.
We're getting closer. You see the numbers. We're getting much closer to getting our country back to the way it was. We have now an extra 2 countries that have been attacked, 184. They're being attacked as we speak, but we'll all win.
Yeah, now the question is, what does winning look like? And the White House are encouraged by some models that show the initial death toll, which went all the way up to 240,000 on some modeling, has come down recently. But of course, that changes over time as well. It doesn't take into account the fact that the Trump administration may move to the economy, to open the economy a bit sooner than the health experts like. But we'll wait and see on that. Meanwhile, you just saw Secretary Pompeo, the Secretary of State, speak. He doubled down on U.S. President Trump, saying that he was going to reconsider funding the World Health Organization. Now, can you imagine that in the middle of a pandemic? The U.S. pays about a quarter of the WHO's funding. You know, after weeks and months of praising the WHO's response, the U.S. president sort of pointed the finger, perhaps deflecting a little bit because of the crisis here in the United States in the last 24 hours, saying it didn't agree with him, it didn't do its job, and was too China-centric. And incredibly today, the WHO Director General, who's very neutral normally, hit back. Let's take a listen.
The focus of all political parties should be to save their people. Please don't politicize this virus. It exploits the differences you have at the national level. If you want to be exploited, and if you want to have many more body bags, then you do it. If you don't want many more body bags, then you refrain from politicizing it.
Incredible there. You can see the Director General a little bit angry at what's being politicized. Remember, it was the WHO team, which included American scientists, which got access to Beijing and Wuhan, which learned a lot about the virus in its initial stages.
And Nathan, a big shakeup in the U.S. presidential race. Democratic candidate Bernie Sanders dropping out, clearing the way for rival Joe Biden. How is the White House reacting to that development?
Well, it's just quite incredible that the race for the November election has sort of taken such a back seat. I mean, you know, Bernie who has been sort of the question of the last few weeks, and Joe Biden who. But Bernie Sanders dropping out of the race. Now, remember, the U.S. president wanted to run against Bernie Sanders because of his socialist credentials, as the White House calls it. They even call him a communist. They did not want to run against Joe Biden, who's now going to be the nominee. They went after his son, remember, with the whole Ukraine thing and the impeachment. So the U.S. president is sort of trying to split the Democratic Party by saying Bernie was cheated again, like he was in 2016, which of course he wasn't then as well. But that sort of plays into the risks within the Democratic Party. But it's going to be really an election, isn't it, going to be dominated by the response to this crisis. And the polling is moving against the president at the moment, but of course it's a long way